Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Clara.
And I'm Mark. Today's episode is going to be a little bit special. Instead of jumping into a specific topic, we're going to start with something very simple but also very important. Introducing ourselves.
Yes, because introductions are the first step in building connections. Whether you're meeting new people, starting a new job, or even just making friends online, knowing how to introduce yourself in English is super useful.
Absolutely. And today, we'll share some examples, tips, and of course, our own introductions, so you can get to know us better too.
Okay, let's start simple. Mark, how would you introduce yourself in the most basic way?
Well, the simplest introduction is just something like, "Hi, my name is Mark." That's it. Super short. But usually we add a little more like, "Hi, my name is Mark. I'm from Canada. I'm a teacher."
Right. That's the classic formula. Name plus where you're from plus what you do.
Exactly. Clara, how about you?
Sure. Hi, my name is Clara. I'm from Indonesia. I'm a content creator and podcast host.
Perfect. Very natural and clear.
Let's give our listeners more examples. Mark, can you introduce yourself in 3 different ways? Short, medium, and longer?
Okay, let's try. Short. Hi, I'm Mark. Medium. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm from Canada. Longer. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm from Canada. I'm an English teacher, and I really enjoy teaching students from around the world.
Nice. Listeners, you see how you can choose based on the situation. If you just meet someone quickly, short is enough. If you have more time, add more.
Yes, and don't forget, you can also say, "Hello, my name is Mark." "Hi, I'm Mark." "Hey, I'm Mark."
That's a good point. The word you choose, hi, hello, or hey, changes how formal you sound. Let me ask you, Mark, when you meet someone new, do you usually say your full name or just your first name?
Good question. In Canada, usually just the first name. For example, "Hi, I'm Mark." But in more formal settings like a job interview, I might say, "Hello, my name is Mark Thompson."
That's interesting. In Indonesia, sometimes people use full names, especially if the situation is formal. But among friends, just first names.
So listeners, think about this. How would you introduce yourself in English right now? Maybe pause this podcast and try saying, "Hi, my name is, I'm from, I'm a."
Yes, practicing out loud is the best way to get comfortable. Don't just listen, actually try it with your own name.
And remember, your voice and your smile are part of the introduction. It's not just words. It's also how you say them.
Of course, when we introduce ourselves, we can also add more details to make it more interesting. For example, hobbies, passions, or goals.
Yes. For instance, I could say, "Hi, my name is Mark. I'm from Canada, but now I live in Jakarta. I'm an English teacher, and I really love traveling and photography."
Nice. That gives a fuller picture of who you are. Let me try. Hi, I'm Clara. I'm from Indonesia. I work as a content creator, and in my free time, I enjoy reading, cooking, and sometimes painting.
That sounds warm and friendly.
Thanks! So, listeners, when you introduce yourself, don't be afraid to add a little bit about your interests. It makes conversations flow more naturally.
Now, let's make it more fun. Clara, tell me, what's one interesting story about yourself that people usually don't know when you first introduce yourself?
Hmm, maybe the fact that I once joined a cooking competition in college. It was just a small local contest, but I was so nervous. I remember I had to cook a dish in only 30 minutes, and the judges were standing right in front of me, watching every move.
Wow, that sounds stressful. How did you do?
Well, I didn't win first place, but I did get a special mention because of my creativity. The experience taught me two things. First, cooking under pressure is very different from cooking at home. And second, even if you don't win, you can still gain confidence and valuable memories.
That's such a great story. And it shows another important point. When you add a personal story to your introduction, people remember you. Instead of just, Clara likes cooking, now I will always think, Clara once competed in a cooking contest.
Exactly. Stories stick in people's minds more than facts. All right, now your turn, Mark. Share something about yourself that people don't usually know.
Okay, here's one. I play the guitar, and when I was in high school, I actually had a small band with my friends. We weren't professional at all. We just played cover songs in the garage. But once we performed at our school festival in front of hundreds of students.
Oh, wow. That must have been exciting.
It was. I remember my hands were shaking so badly, but once the music started, I forgot my fear. The audience was cheering, and that moment gave me a huge boost of confidence. I realized that sometimes you just have to take the stage, even if you're scared.
That's inspiring. And again, this is something people will remember about you. Mark, the English teacher who used to play in a band.
Yes. And this is a tip for our listeners. When you introduce yourself, think of a mini story you can share. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be something small, like your first day at a new job, a funny mistake when learning English, or a hobby experience.
Right. For example, if you like reading, instead of just saying, I like reading, you can add, the first English book I ever read was Harry Potter. It was difficult, but I felt so proud when I finished it. That's already a mini story.
Yes, and it makes you more memorable and more human.
So, listeners, we challenge you. Next time you introduce yourself, try to add one little story. Maybe about your hobby, your favorite memory, or something that shaped who you are.
And don't worry about making it perfect in English. Even a short, simple story will make a big difference. For example, I like soccer. Last year, I played in a small tournament with my friends, and we actually won third place. That's enough to make people smile and remember you.
Mark, since you're from Canada and I'm from Indonesia, I think introductions can be quite different depending on culture, right?
Yes, absolutely. In Canada, a basic introduction is usually very short. You say your name, maybe your job, and that's it. Something like, Hi, I'm Mark. I'm a teacher.
That's very direct. In Indonesia, people usually want to know a little more. For example, after saying my name, sometimes people ask, Where are you from? Or, What do you do? And it's also common to ask about family, like, Are you married? Or, How many siblings do you have?
Right. And in Western cultures, those personal questions might feel too private if you ask them too soon. So for learners of English, it's good to know that in many English-speaking countries, introductions are more about keeping things light and polite.
Let's imagine an example. If I meet a new colleague in Jakarta, I might say, Hi, I'm Clara. I'm from Bandung. What about you? Where's your family from?
Yes. But in Canada, if you meet a colleague, it's usually, Hi, I'm Mark. Nice to meet you. I'll be working on this project with you. Very focused on the work, not on family.
That's so interesting. So the context really matters.
Exactly. Another thing is the level of formality. In Japan, for example, introductions are very formal. You bow, you exchange business cards, and you often include your job title and company name.
Yes. And in Indonesia, in formal situations, sometimes people use honorifics like Bapa or Ibu before the name to show respect.
Meanwhile, in the US or Canada, it's usually just first names, even with your boss. For example, you might say, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'll be your manager." Very casual compared to many Asian cultures.
Have you ever had a funny or awkward experience with introductions in another culture?
Yes, once in Japan, I forgot to bow properly when meeting someone important, and I just shook hands like a Canadian. People were polite, but later my friend told me, next time, bow a little.
Ha ha ha, that's a good one. For me, when I was in Europe, I was surprised that some people kiss on the cheek as a greeting. In Indonesia, that would feel too personal.
Exactly. So greetings and introductions can really change depending on where you are.
So, listeners, here's the key takeaway. When introducing yourself in English, keep it simple: your name, where you're from, and what you do. That works almost everywhere.
Yes. And then, watch what the other person does. If they share more personal details, you can do the same. If they keep it short, then it's okay to keep it short too.
That's a great tip. Mirror the other person. It's a safe way to avoid being too formal or too casual.
And if you're not sure, just smile and say, "Nice to meet you." That phrase always works.
Okay, let's practice. Imagine we are meeting for the first time at a conference. Mark, you go first.
Sure. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm from Canada. I work as an English teacher, and I'm interested in education technology.
Nice. Then I'd reply, Hi, Mark, nice to meet you. I'm Clara, I'm from Indonesia. I create content about lifestyle and learning English. I also enjoy cooking and traveling.
That feels natural. And notice how we also used nice to meet you. That's a polite and common phrase.
Yes, very important to add when meeting someone new. Now let's try another role play. This time, imagine we meet at a cafe. Mark, how would you introduce yourself casually?
Okay. Hey, I'm Mark. I'm from Canada. I just moved here recently. What about you?
That sounds relaxed. I'd reply, Hi, I'm Clara. I'm from Jakarta. I usually come to this cafe to work on my projects.
Perfect. Notice that in casual situations, you can add small details like, "I just moved here," or "I usually come here." It makes the conversation more friendly.
Okay, let's switch. Imagine this is a job interview. How would you introduce yourself?
In that case, I would be more formal. Good morning. My name is Mark Thompson. I'm originally from Canada, and I've been working as an English teacher for over 10 years. I'm excited to have the opportunity to discuss how my skills can contribute to your company.
Very professional. In a job interview, it's common to include experience and enthusiasm. Let me try. Good morning. My name is Clara Putri. I'm from Indonesia, and I have 5 years of experience in content creation and digital marketing. I'm passionate about using media to help people learn new skills.
That's excellent. Clear, confident, and professional.
All right, listeners, now it's your turn. Let's practice together. We'll give you a structure, and you fill in the blanks. Ready?
Okay, repeat after me. Hi, my name is. I'm from. I'm a.
Great! Now let's add one more detail. Repeat after me. In my free time, I enjoy.
Nice job. Even if you only practice with us here, it builds confidence.
Here are some tips. Practice out loud. Don't just write your introduction, say it. Record yourself. Listen and check if you sound clear. Try different situations: casual with friends, formal for work, and friendly for networking.
And remember, you don't need to sound perfect. Introductions are about connection, not perfection.
Okay, Mark, let's do one last quick practice. Imagine we're at a language exchange event.
All right. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm from Canada. I'm here to practice Indonesian. How about you?
Hi, I'm Clara. I'm from Indonesia. I'm here to practice English and meet new friends.
See? That's short, simple, and perfect for making friends. All right, we're coming to the end of today's episode. Let's quickly summarize. When introducing yourself in English, remember the simple structure: your name, where you're from, and what you do.
Then, if you want, you can add more details like hobbies, goals, or even a fun fact.
And don't forget cultural differences. Keep it short, friendly, and smile while you speak. It makes a big difference.
We hope this episode helps you feel more confident introducing yourself in English.
Yes, and maybe next time you can try practicing by recording your own introduction.
That's a great idea. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you in the next episode.